Hey guys, it's Nick here from nickbro.com, author of Single No More and Breakthrough Specialist. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about how your past relationships are impacting your current status and who you're currently attracting or what you're attracting in your current relationships. Now, in the context of relationships, there's always two things you absolutely need to look at. First, emotional baggage. Emotional baggage is what is going to determine the types of relationships, the types of partners you're going to attract. So if you're always attracting guys who might be cheating on you, guys who are never there for you, guys who abandon you, guys who are emotionally unavailable, if you've got a relationship pattern going on, it's because you've got a specific type of emotional baggage that's attracting that type of pattern. Right? Often it's linked back to childhood. And if you're looking to break free from those types of patterns, you need to identify those emotional root causes responsible for those patterns. Now, the second thing you always want to look at, and that's the topic of today's video, is what I call split energy. So what is split energy? Split energy is when part of you wants something and part of you doesn't, often at a subconscious level, and most people don't even realize the split energy is there. So how does that impact relationships? So it does two things. First, it's like it creates this invisible wall or this invisible barrier all around you. It's like it puts up this stay away from me vibe, and it prevents you from attracting partners at all. So if you've been single for a long time, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe longer, there's a good chance that you've got one of those invisible walls, invisible barriers, one of those stay away from me vibes going on. So that's one thing that split energy creates. The second thing it'll create is a self-sabotaging pattern. And what happens is within maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks, a couple of months of dating somebody, when you start to develop a closer, more intimate connection with that person, that self-sabotaging pattern will kind of kick in, and you'll start doing things, you'll start creating circumstances that cause fights, that cause problems, even if you really like that person, right? And again, that's another sabotaging subconscious pattern that people do and they don't even realize they're doing it. So those are the two things, the two symptoms of having split energy. Now, how do you know where that split energy is coming from, right? And how do you create it, right? Why do you have it? So first, split energy comes from fear, often trauma-induced. So for example, I worked with one client. She was single and she didn't even date for over 20 years. And I asked her, about what was the biggest relationship or the longest relationship she had been in. And for her, it was in high school. She was dating a guy. They were together for like 9 or 10 months. They're going to get married. They're going to have 4 kids. She had it all planned out. And one day she came into school and found out that he had been cheating on her. Okay. So for her, that was an emotional trauma, right? Didn't end well. Lots of hurt, lots of pain, and she hung on to those emotions. Now, a lot of people don't realize that one of the rules of the subconscious mind is to try to keep you safe. So because that was her first relationship, because of the trauma that around that relationship, her subconscious mind flagged relationships as unsafe, right? So now, even though part of her wanted to be in a relationship, to get married, to have kids, another subconscious part of her decided that she didn't want to be in relationships, that relationships weren't safe. So that's a typical example of what creates split energy. And it doesn't have to be a major emotional trauma like that. It could be having a controlling partner, right? So if you're together with a partner for maybe a year, 2 years, who's very controlling, who gets jealous easy, who doesn't let you do what you want, well, even when you're single, you might start to believe that I'm controlled in relationships. When I'm dating somebody, I can't do what I want, right? That would create split energy, right? Past breakups, if they came along with a lot of hurt, then there might be a fear that if I'm in a relationship again, then I might get hurt again, right? And if that's the case for you, then you want to deal with the hurt from the past relationships to let go of that split energy. Now, how do you know if you have split energy? Well, it's kind of easy. All you need to do is ask one question and see what answer pops up in your mind. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself, if I meet somebody tomorrow, if myself and that person fall deeply in love, what's the worst thing that could happen? How does that feel unsafe? And if you've got an answer that pops up in your mind, especially if you can feel the emotional trigger, if you can feel the fear that comes along with that answer, then there's a good sign that you likely have split energy. and you're going to want to deal with that split energy, because if you don't, it's going to continue to impact your relationships. So what do I want you to do next? So one, I've got a webinar coming up in about a week and a half. I want you to sign up for it. Go to my Facebook page. You should be able to find information there. Second, drop me a comment. I'd love to know what fear, what split energy came up for you. If you're willing to share, drop a comment. Let me know what the fear is. And if you've got friends that you think would benefit from this video, feel free to tag them in the comments as well. And third, if you feel like you need some extra help, I've got tons of resources. I've got a team of practitioners to help. Shoot me a private message, drop me a comment, tag me, reach out, and I'd love to give you a hand. So that's all I've got for you guys for today. Split energy, deal with it, get rid of it, and find the partner you've really been looking for, whether you've been looking for a long time or a little bit of a time. Now's the time to find it. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now.